Hi, today's, what is today? Sunday? Saturday. Oh, football. College football. So you can see over there, so check this out. I'm in a podcast there and I was going, I don't know, my girl, that girl, queen in there is dead or alive. Well, at the moment I'm going to go with she's alive. Well, of course, this took about 25 days or more for these girls to hatch out. She still could be dead, but this is a good sign. Check it out. See all that navigation going on there? Orientation, navigational flight. Yep. So I'm gonna go, because I haven't seen that for a while. Geez, I think last time I seen that orientation was about 3 weeks ago. Yeah. It was like a couple of them in a row, and then there was none. I mean, I'm talking, there was like, it was like the hive just died, right? There was just none. And so this, these girls don't do no orientations. My main hive, no more orientations. I mean, well, I take that back. Not like they were anyway. I mean, there was a time there was so many orientation flights um, that were going on with my main hive, which is the one right there. Yeah, there was so much orientation every day. It's like, my gosh, that girl never stops taking. She never stops laying eggs. She's like the Energizer Bunny. She just keeps going and going and going. So, and there we go. The hive is alive. It's alive. It's alive. I just still want to touch this camera. It's just, oh, it's straight there, but it's not here. Sam, I think the air is crooked. What do you think, Ginger? So this is going to be my pasta sauce. So I do buy some whole grain noodles. That's that stuff that looks like when you curl up into look. Yeah, the brown stuff. Yeah, it's got wheat germ and all that. When I do buy pasta, it's angel hair, wheat, whole wheat with germ pasta noodles. I don't eat it very often, but so what I got here is I just picked some grapes. I'm gonna put a few more in there. I'll put a few more in there, but then I have tomatoes I just picked a while ago, and here's some chives. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blend that down, and I'm gonna pour that as my pasta sauce over my noodles. All right. Go pick a few more whole veggies or something. Something. Did you know you can use grape leaf? Yeah, grape leaf's really good. Yeah, on your salads and stuff. Who knew, right? Grape leaf. This grapevine here, I can sell enough lettuce for the restaurants in my town. This thing grows so fast. Yeah, grape leaf. Same thing with strawberry leaf. Pretty loaded in nutrients, and yeah, highly recommend it. Now, strawberry leaves, I forgot with a certain chemical in there, but you'd want to limit how much strawberry leaf you eat. You do the research, It's like how much leaf can I actually eat? And so you be the decider on that, because I have a hypersensitivity to applesauce. I mean, yeah, apple juice. So when I drink apple juice, it has to be like a half a cup. Any more than a half a cup, I get into trouble. I can eat 2 apples. I think I've even eaten 3 apples. But it's when it's cooked down, when the apples get cooked down, that's when I run into trouble, and it turns into the juice. So what I do is I take my apples. I got a neighbor that also has some apple trees. I got one in the front, but something happened and most of the apples fell off. I think maybe I didn't water it enough. They just said, "Oh, ain't enough for all of us on here." And they started to do a beehive thing. Oh, there's not enough food in for all of us. We're gonna check out. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this is how I make my pasta sauce. Now, when I got tomatoes, like towards the end of the season, I'll take those when it's cooler during the day or at night. so I have them run the air conditioner and cook. I'll cut that. I'll cook that stuff down, tomato paste, into like almost tomato paste. Some of it I actually just cook down into, the regular consistency of a pasta sauce. But I mark it when I freeze it in my cubes, because I'll take freezer cubes, ice trays, and that's how I make my pasta sauce. So I can just look in and go, I just want that many. Instead of, we put stuff in bags and that we thaw out the whole bag, and oh man, I only needed like a quarter of that. Bummer, and it just rots. Yeah, this one we don't play that. Nothing I do. Anything I use my time on, if I'm going to invest my time in something, I'm doggone sure that every single bit of that investment of my time I end up using, right? Because I don't want to be abusing all that work that I did. So yeah, that's still over there navigating. Wow, navigating. Huh? Boy, it got cold last night. I came out here last night. I forgot what it was. I do so many things. It's like I was kind of like reading a book, and you just kind of speed reading. Somebody asks you a question or something about the book, and you don't have all the answers. You probably have some. Kind of like that. But that's cool, because I really thought I thought she maybe died like a month ago. Like, gone. Because it already been. Yeah, it was hard to tell. Well, I'm not always out here either, so this might have happened yesterday, right? I don't know. All I can say is what I see, right? That's just the way it goes. And so my main hive, they look like they're shrinking, so they're contracting, which actually is good. It's good. There's a lot of marauders from different hives that are trying to get in all the time into my main hive here. Always trying to get in all the time. My girls are attacking them. So it's not just the wasps. It's not just the varroa mites or the ants. It's also their fellow bees. Kind of a bummer, but that's still doing it over there. Wow, it's really cool to see that, because spider built a web around my beehive. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Spider. Oh, she's already caught one too. Caught one of my girls. Yeah, she already caught one. Sucked all the blood out of it. But so they're bringing out a lot of dead. There's another marauder. Boy, there's 4 more girls on that marauder. There's 4 of them all caked on that one. My girl is saying, "No, you don't, marauder. You want to get in and take our honey." Oh, it's funny. So I just sprayed them with some sugar water a while ago. I had to make a bunch more last night. What was it about? So it was 2, 4. Yeah, 8 cups. So I made. What was that? 4? 4. Oh, geez, a lot more than 4. Yeah, was like 16 cups. Okay, so that thing was wanting to get my food. So it looks good. Happy to see the navigation going on. So it's nice to get a sense that your hive isn't dead, right? And I'm going to be pulling my panel out here, probably tomorrow, hopefully, and then do another powdered sugar shake. And so I just spray these girls out on the front. Just give them it only takes them like a second to decide whether they're going to rush in or say they like do this little shimmy. So it gives them like a second or so before they're going to rush in or look at me and go, "Thank you, sir. Can I have another?" That's how they look. I mean, it's like they'll shake after I'm, spritzing them, and then they just kind of look around at me. probably looking at the sky. It's raining food. And bees do have the ability to engage in facial recognition. So I'm here frequently enough when I'm taking my breaks during out the day and enjoying the company of my bees because I enjoy watching them. Just watching nature. It's just fun to watch. And so this is when I take my breaks. This is usually when I'm right here. Now I usually don't have my phone. When I'm busy doing stuff, I do not carry my phone around. That thing is not locked to my body, nor is it locked to my mind, like most people. No, I see it like I see it as a computer. You know, you go to your computer when you're ready to sit down at your computer and engage with your computer to do research of something or investigate something or chit chat with somebody. That's how I see my phone, right? And I leave it in the house. Unless I'm gonna do this, record something. Yeah, cool, man. That navigation, orientation. Yeah. So I haven't seen any drones still come out of the swarm hive, which I call the peach hive, and it looks like there's less and less drones coming out. Drones for you don't know, those are males. And I don't see as many. I seen like a week ago, there was quite a few males coming out. The ones that I've seen mostly, probably only because they couldn't fly, so they ended up on the ground. But the ones I've seen were on the ground. They had deformities like deformed wings because of the DWV, deformed wing virus, that the varroa mites give. I gotta say, that once that DWV gets into a hive, it could be permanent, whether there's any mites in there or not. More mites will just bring in, so the more mites you have, the higher the level the DWV will be. Oh, gosh, that can almost go into a rap song. And so, I don't see the ground moving. It's, yeah, and so I think that likely they're going to survive. Typically, this time of year in September, now the nights are going to start getting colder, and she's probably already stopped laying drones, because this time of year, it would be absolutely insane for a beehive to make a split of itself. That's like suicide. You don't have no food built up for the winter. The resources are zero. If they just usually that's a dearth time of the year too, typically. So that would be insane for her to even be laying drones at this moment. So I suspect that she probably stopped laying drones several weeks ago. And because of that, I anticipate that varroa mite count now to start to precipitously decline over the weeks. And I'll get a good idea of that in a couple weeks as I do my panel pools. Because last year about this time, there was also still hundreds of varroa mites in there. But I start about in November is when I really started to notice a decline. Around the 1st of November, that varroa mite count really steadily, dramatically dropping. So if this hive still looks good through next month, this month and next, they got a good chance. But I'm almost tempted to take this hive out, my original one, and the reason being is because any queen that it derives from this hive, that queen that replaces her mother is going to likely be the same kind of queen. In other words, they're like milking cows. They're a farm animal. These bee farmers who sell these bee packages, they try to get a hold of the queen that just keeps laying 24/7, 365, to sell bee packages and first get them big, get lots of beehives, get lots of bees, come spring, sell lots of them, make lots of money. Okay, that's farming. That's bee farming. For people who are not interested in being a bee farmer, they don't want a bee farmer queen. No, you want a stable hive, one that you don't have to always put pesticides and poisons and high maintenance. And so that swarm that I caught, zero maintenance. That's how they're supposed to be, right? So what I'm going to end up doing is I'll probably end up canceling this hive. I'll make splits from that one next year if I can get them through the winter. So most of my energy now, knowing what the scenario is, that these bee farmers, they don't care whether your bees die of DWV or varroa mite infections or what. They don't care. They only care about pumping as many bee packages out as possible to get that money. And they don't care about our situation. That's capitalism, right? If they cared, they would make sure that they had a queen that before they sold it, that it was laying eggs intermittently before they even sold it. But they don't have that kind of resource. That would cost too much money. I understand. But maybe they should do it that way and just triple their cost of their bee packages. Just triple the cost of them. Something like that, right? In other words, sell high quality bee packages. And guarantee that those queens are breaking queens. They break. Of course, anybody can notice it. I noticed it also. I noticed it so like a month and a half after I caught them. I noticed the first break. I'm going, did she die? Oh, boom, navigation, nice ones, big ones for days. Oh, she's all right. Then 3 weeks later, same thing, nothing for 3 weeks. Then all of a sudden, boom. So she's doing an excellent job at keeping the varroa mite count pretty much at zero. I checked it the other day, and it was zero. I didn't see any, none, not even one. This one over here, thousands. After a week's time, all I see was varroa mites on the panel. It's just crazy. Yet they're still alive. So those varroa mites. Oh, somehow they brought out a bee that's partially gone. Half of its body's gone. Oh, it just croaked. That was weird. It's like, what? Oh, a wasp just came by and took half of my bee's body. That's what I just saw. She's only got half of her body. It just came right in and snipped half of her torso away. Oh, doggone. Yeah, wasps, man. Wasps and the yellow jackets. Yeah, yellow jackets. So there you go. That's kind of my day. Yeah, the swarm is starting to die down, or the navigational. Starting to look more normal now. When I first came out here, it was huge. I'm going, yeah! Yeah, she's still alive. Probably. Because I think that's like the, since I caught her, I think that's like the third or fourth cycle that I did. So I didn't see any more navigational flights. I go, what? Oh, what happened? and then I'm going like, huh? It's like this roller coaster. I didn't know what was going on. All I could do is be suspicious about what possibly can be going on. But then once I came to the realization of what's happening with these bee farms, I went, oh, the swarm I caught is behaving correctly in nature, because I caught her from nature. I got a big forest in my back here, and it's hard to say where she came from, where that swarm came from. Could have been a woody woodpecker. Oh, because I've heard woodpeckers up in those trees, those big trees. I've heard woodpeckers up in there many times. There's multiple holes up there, beehives in there. And what they'll do is the bees will actually go into those woodpecker holes, and they will actually literally make them bigger. They have the ability to scrape, and get all of them doing that, thousands of them, and you take a cavity like this, and next thing you know, you got one like that, or bigger, whatever they want. They can just keep making it bigger and bigger until the tree falls, I guess. They're kind of like their own little internal chainsaw. And so I got this little squirrel yesterday. I was gonna take it to the park. Then I decided last night, I wonder how hard it'd be to make you my friend. So I set up this separate cage and food and water, and I put a glove on. And I went to grab it. That doggone thing squeezed right past my arm, and it was loose running around the garage. Squirrel on the loose in the garage, and I had a doggy door, and it went hiding somewhere, and so it probably went out the doggy door. It saw daylight because that was the only daylight that was in there. And so there it is. That's my day today. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell. With the schnell. Don't cost anything. Free. Subscribing, it's all free. It only takes a click of your little finger there. Excuse me, Ginger, you're laying on my wasp water. Yeah, just click your little finger there on the subscribe button. Click that bell. So I'm going to be doing, I don't know, a month or so. Once everything calms down here, I still got so much food that I got to process from my gardens yet. Once it calms down, I'm going to be doing some, I'm going to be going into my music studio and doing some music recordings. Little lamb. Yeah, I wear this to keep the sun because the sun is not good for our son. Like 15 minutes or something in the morning, something like that, before 10. And, just as the sun's going down, 15, 20 minutes right before the sun goes down, it's at that long angle. But that's a good time to get your vitamin D. Get that at that hot day. Yeah, you get spots. I had this lady, I was 15 years old. I got such a bad burn. I used to get like up to 4 times a summer bad sunburns when I was a child, just like 3 years old, because we were outside all the time. And my sisters would always pick the dying skin off me. Sit here, like they're all monkeys, and they're just going. They just love peeling that skin off. And so when I was about 14, 15, I had such a bad burn. It was a unboat race where I lived, and everybody was building their own boats from scrap, right? Had to be a certain scrap look, ordinary to qualify. And so we floated on that river all day long. I forgot how many hours it was, 8-something hours. And I ended up in the emergency room, me and a friend. We got burned so bad that the skin literally floated above liquid water. It wasn't pus though. When the nurse poked at it, it just leaked like water, right? Our bodies were trying to cool itself off from the burn. And so when she was doing that investigation, she had like this blue light thing, and she was going all over my skin. She goes, well, by the time you're 40 years old, you're going to have brown spots all over your body. Because she was able to see them deeper into the layer of the epidermis, right? See what's coming, right? Kind of like a buried tattoo. As the old skin comes up, the old burnt skin comes up, you get the brown spots, right? From the radiation damage. So yeah, I got some, but it's not as bad as she said it was going to be by the time I was 40. Yeah, in fact, I saw them too. Gosh, it looked like I had a different color. It's like the spots were so thick. I was only 15. The spots were so thick, looked like there was more brown spots than there was regular white skin. But it didn't turn out that way. Just normal, really. Normal sun exposure. So, there you go. Yep, beehive's back to normal. There's none buzzing around any more than normal, coming in and out with food. And my main hive, is, gosh, I haven't seen a flight. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. This queen might already be dead. If she's dead, my main hive, that hive's going to die. Won't make it, because what they do is they'll put a lot of, so what they do, I got 2 things going in my head at once, multi-brain tasking. So she's going to go into winter laying probably next month or thereabouts. And so all these bees that are here right now, every single one of them that's in this hive right now, come around the first of November, yeah. um, these will all be dead, every single one. And she's going to be laying what's called winter bees, and those typically survive up to 200 days, the winter bees. Whereas the spring, summer, fall bees, they typically last 35 to 45 days. They just die of exhaustion. Just literally, just. I've seen so many girls when they're coming in with their load, they can't make it to the landing board. They're so exhausted, they land on the ground. And then they sit there. Something that comes and eats them, or I pick them up with a stick and put them up there, which is what I usually do if I'm here. It's like they're so exhausted they can't even make it into the hive to fly back up, to even get right above, just a couple feet into the hive. They're just, you know. And so, yeah, they just work themselves to death, literally. And all about the hives. So I was going to say, so I've got a number of marauders that are trying to get into the cracks on the top of the lid. Now, when I did my sugar shake last week, or was it the first of this week, I think? Anyway, when I popped that lid, there was a bunch of dead bees packed in around the outer rim of my top lid. And I thought it was my bees somehow squirted through when I was putting the lid on, and they just kept trying to get in and got stuck. No. What happened was actually what I'm watching right now. The marauders, see, my bees, they know where the door is. That's the first door they ever recognized, right, coming out. They're always going to go in the front. Marauders, they're looking for anywhere and everywhere but the front, because my girls are fronting the marauders. Marauders are trying to get in right now, in the front, but my girls are stopping them and going at them like crazy. And even 4 of my girls on 1. That's overwhelming. And so what was happening was those marauders were so desperate to get up into that honey up there in that super. They kept pushing, even though it was getting more and more narrow. They kept pushing their body, just trying to get to that super honey, right, in the super box, until they got themselves wedged and stuck. And that's why I've seen like about 20 dead bees around the outside edge rim of the super brood, or the super box of the lid, like on the top. So you got your lid. And so here's the top of the super box, and then you got the lid that comes over the edge a little bit. Well, they're right here in the edge, walking around and getting stuck, and right. And that's what they are. And they're right now trying to get into every crack and every crevice. Those marauders from another hive. They're from another hive trying to get in this one here. What's strange, I really don't see that much on the peach hive. Now and then I'll see one bouncing around the cracks. But it's as if the natives know that these kind of bees usually always fail this time of year, which is true. I think it was a total of, since 2023, I've had like 4 failed hives because of varroa mite infections, which up to that point was 100%. It was 100% failure. It was because these queens are farm queens. They're farm bred to mass produce, keep mass producing, grow lots of varroa mites, grow lots of drones, grow the hive quickly, and then if I don't put all the pesticides and chemicals to bring down that varroa mite sometime in July, then their hives would likely die as well. The farmers, the bee farmers, yeah, their hives would die if they didn't put all those chemicals in there. Yep. But now that I've got this queen that I suppose she's organic, man. She's an organic queen, just like I would. That's what I was hoping when I first started beekeeping. That's what I was hoping that I got. I was hoping I hope I got one of those organic layers. No, not one single one of those queens. I think I had a total though of about 6 or 7 queens, including this one here. And all those queens ended up being farm queens, where they just kept laying, no break. They killed the hive by doing it. So yeah, I'll keep you up on date. So I'll make some podcasts next spring. Next spring I'll make some podcasts of my splits. So what I'll probably do is I'm only going to make queen cells, because I'm going to make queens. I'm going to create my own queen cells. I got a couple of I built some 2-frame nuke boxes. So I'll probably start a number of little beehives, put a queen in each one of those. I got like six of them that I built, including this one in the tree here, which is the one I caught my bee swarm in. And so I'll probably get about maybe a half a dozen, make about half a dozen queen cells, get those started, do some splits, use some of the bees out of my main hive here, because I can take the nursing bees. That's all I need, because those nursing bees are going to fly out and then they'll eventually die. What I'm interested in is the queen. It's all about the queen and the way that she lays eggs. She's not a farm queen, obviously. The queen I caught, she's a nature queen from nature. They know better, Lay intermittently, keep the population down, keep it manageable. Yeah, I ended up putting 3 boxes on the one that I got from the farm. She was producing so many eggs. Anyway, so that's kind of my day. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell. Appreciate that. Help this baby channel grow. I think when I do my music, I actually get quite a few views. When I do stuff like this, probably nothing. This is just for me, mostly, I got a couple of family members that like watching my podcast, and so I think I got a couple of friends that watch them too. And so this is just for me. Also, it's good. So anybody who's wanting to start a podcast, don't make a thing of it, right? Think about what your interests are, and you just go and start recording it, right? You just record it, throw it on there, record it, because as you folks who want to start a podcast, as you keep doing it, it's going to become more refined and defined as it goes on. It's just the natural course of it, right? It's just you're gonna settle into your zone, whatever that might end up being. You'll know it when you get there, probably. You're gonna see your views going up, because YouTube algorithms are going to understand more of what you're talking about. A certain kind of a consistency of a certain topic, kind of general, or genre. And so, yeah, YouTube has no idea what to do with this boy. But that's okay. So if you folks want to start a podcast, you just do your thing, right? You just talk about whatever you want, whatever is important to you, or whatever makes sense. It's not about being, getting every word correct, or getting everything right on. Everybody carries a library in their pocket. If someone says something that you don't understand, what's that boy talking about? And that girl? Oh, that's what they meant, right? So yeah, you remember we used to have to go to the library. I would go to the library and spend hours trying to research simple things. I think one of them was Aztec Indians. I wanted to gather as much information about Aztec Indians I wanted. I think I was in 6th grade. I spent so many hours there just trying to find the right kind of books. I knew what the kind of information I was looking for, but I was looking for more detailed information about that particular segment of that topic, and that was tough. That was really tough to try to find that information. But now, you get on your phone, you go, blah, 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 and there it is. Then you can print it out, take a picture of it. Now, my phone, I can say, like that. It takes a picture of the screen. So if I've got information on my screen, tap, spread the fingers apart, and then I can create like a little library of my own of that particular topic, but just the information I'm wanting. Then I can categorize it in my folder and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, kind of like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there you go. Okay, well, everything's died down here. I think I'm going to go make dinner. It's my dinner time. It's after, I'm pretty sure it's after 5. Does my phone say? I don't know. It don't say. It's thereabouts. So I've got my, I've got my pasta sauce there, ready to go. Cool, right? Go pick your pasta sauce. You go pick your pasta sauce in a can or a jar or a box or a bag at the store. You never know what you're going to get. Maybe an upset stomach, maybe metal poisoning or chemical poisoning. You just never know. They don't know either when they're buying those produce from other places and farms. They use all those chemicals. Can't test every drop of everything. Just impossible. Which is why we get outbreaks every year of salmonella poisoning and this poison and that thing and this thing. Can't test everything, right? So I grow all my own stuff. The thing I don't grow that I eat are legumes. So, and those are just field beans, right? Just field beans, and then you just run through a machine, and then they put them in a box, and then go to this store, and I buy all my stuff in bulk from the farms, right? Pretty simple. And if somebody's messed with my food, I don't like eating it. I don't want them going through metal machines, and if I can help it, no plastic machines, no, because all that stuff gives off vapor. Gives off particles, microparticles from metals. So all the food that's get processed, it's getting micrometals, right? Even in our canned food, so in our cans, micrometals. Right, so if we got all these cans and all these bags that are plastic bags of food and all this stuff and all these machines that break it all down and process it all down, and all those micrometals and fumes from those things, and it gets in all that food and it gets into our body, and we're eating that every day, it's accumulative. It's going to build up, and it's just going to happen. You're going to get on medications or something. Something's not right. Something don't feel right. Something broken. Next thing you know, you're on one medication, then down the road you're on another and another and another. I know. I was on 12. 12 medications. One at a time. Over the years, one at a time. Right? Until I said, what? Something's wrong. I figured out what it was. I dove heavy into biological scientific research on my own. In other words, I did not want to hear, nor was I interested, nor am I interested in listening to somebody else's opinion about biological science. What I chose to do is actually go to write down, to look at everything on a cellular level myself, look at the data, read the data for myself, and understand it myself, right? And not allow someone else to decipher that information for me. So when a study is done, I read the study myself. Because sometimes, a lot of times, somebody will read something and cherry pick out of it, and then they'll make a podcast of it or something, or make a storyline of it, and it's all false. Partly true, but partly false, right? There's missing critical information that, so. Well, that tree really raised up a lot. I'm trying to straighten out my peach tree. It was leaning like this, and now I got it kind of like that now, little at a time, right? And so, what we're going to end up doing when we get our bots, they're going to be programmed to understand what I'm talking about. And so when we ask our bot a question, it's going to have access to AI, just like we do, but it's going to be able to decipher that information. It's going to come to know you, and what to expect when you say a certain thing or you give a certain expression as you're saying something or getting ready to say something. That's how intricate our bots are going to be with this. They're going to be zoned in on you like a dog or a cat, but far more intense, right? It's going to know what you're thinking before you're thinking it because of your body language, right? Or you're going to say something, it knows where you're going because of your body language on top of your body language. Right? And so, yes, it's going to be really cool stuff. Personal bots. They're coming out 2026. Mass produced. There's a gigafactory here. I forgot where it was. There's a number of them that are coming to a Walmart near you. Probably so. That'll probably be sold more like cars. Well, you never know. They don't take up the space of a car, so yeah, you could probably sell them in a store like Walmart or something like that. Yeah, I mean, whatever aisle they sell 10 speeds and stuff. Hey, so here you got your 10 speeds, your 5 speeds, and don't forget about your iBots. So, There you go. All right, yeah, those bees are marauders trying to get in. I'll be doggone. That's what all those dead girls were up there. They weren't my girls. They were marauders that got wedged. Okay, that's good to know. I was a little concerned, like, how did my girls get up here and die? What? It wasn't mine. It was some other wife. Okay, good to know, good to know, good to know. Okay, I guess I'm done here. All right, you have a good day, good evening, good morning, all those things. All right, bye now.